Hi everyone, excited to introduce Yafai. Yafai is an open source project built on Apache 2.0 license. It allows you to define and deploy agentic interfaces for any platform. That could be a mobile app, a web app, a desktop application, or even a terminal. Now, what are agentic interfaces? Think of agentic interfaces like a team of AI agents that you've put together with access to certain resources that can perform certain tasks in order to achieve a goal set by you. So you can go ahead and give it a goal within the scope of the system, and the defined agents would work together by consuming the resources available. Resources could be APIs, databases, or files to achieve the task. The Yafai project is made out of two components. The first one is called Yafai Core, which lets you build this team of agents. Yafai Core is a high performance, lightweight Golang binary that takes in a configuration for the workspace. And the configuration is a good old YAML file, which lets you define an orchestrator that will orchestrate between these agents and a team of agents that you can define. And for each orchestrator or team that you define, each member of the team and each orchestrator gets to have control on what model they're using and on what provider they're using. For this release, Yafai end-to-end is built on Grok, so any model supported on Grok can be plugged into Yafai code. The second part of Yafai project is called Yafai Skills. Yafai Skills is the tools and integration server for the Yafai agents. This can be looked at like an MCP alternative, especially for integrating with existing systems that are exposed via REST APIs. And if you don't want to create your own MCP server in terms of coding it out and making it available for your LLM applications. The good part is Yafai Skills has been built to support multiple agents. It uses the concurrency model of Go. So again, Yafai Skills again is a Golang binary that takes in a configurations that defines how the tool server would act, what tools are to be exposed, what REST APIs are to be integrated. And uh, the main reason for building an MCP alternative or building a tool server for Yafai agents is to support number one, existing systems which are having mature REST APIs. And second is building on top of a protocol that we all are aware and comfortable with. So I chose gRPC in favor of performance. So Yafai skill server basically exposes a gRPC service that Yafai agents can consume. So the stack in itself is kind of cloud native and ready to be integrated amongst microservices. If you have a gRPC service running, then the skill server can directly plug it. So what the skill server takes in is a manifest file, just like a workspace config for code. The manifest file has its own format. Uh, Skills are made out of actions. So think of actions like REST APIs that helps you perform an operation. Could be a CRUD operation or could be a fetch from a third-party API. What it basically does is it lets you define the APIs, the type of the REST method, and the parameters it takes in. And you can also define the response template. Now, response template is to feed back the output from an action in natural language back into LLM or back into a chat context so that the agents and the orchestration can work on it. Now, the idea is to have such pre-built manifests that can be run alongside Yafai skill. And when I say pre-built manifest, now these could be services that are already available, or could be your own custom REST APIs if you would like to build and integrate. So this is a high-level intro about the Yafai project. So after that high-level intro, we'll go ahead and install Yafai components and uh, define a use case where we are building an agentic workspace for a mock. CRM application. I have built out a CRM RESTful service that lets you create contacts, get contacts, create deals, track deals, the typical uh, CRM life cycle. And we will go ahead and plug in these APIs using Yafai skill as an intermediary to the agents that we define on the Yafai core workspace. So to get started with, we'll go ahead and install Yafai core. Now Yafai core is distributed through Yafai core and Yafai skill is distributed through Homebrew. So you can just go and do brew install Yafai core. So this pulls in the Yafai core binary from the Yafai homebrew tab. On the other hand, we can also install the Yafai skill. So this again pulls in the Yafai skill binary from the brew. So the first thing that we need to do once both of these install to check if our local REST API or third-party service in this case is running and serving. And once we have kind of verified that the service is reachable, what we can do is we can go ahead and create manifest file as we saw in the documentation, right? So the manifest file for today's demo is um a set of definitions of the APIs that we just saw on the mock CRM. So we can create contacts, we can get contacts, and we can create new deals. So I'm just integrating a subset of these APIs to demonstrate the capabilities of the skill server. And for the core workspace, what we have today is we are creating a workspace that will mimic a CRM agentic interface. So we have an orchestrator that is powered by Llama 3.370B on Grok. And then we have a team of agents called Deals Agent and Contacts Agent. So Deals Agents handle everything pertaining to deals, and Contacts Agent handles everything pertaining to contacts. Now, these agents have access to the uh, skills that are served through Skill Server, and they can use that to achieve the goals set by the user. So to start off with, I'll go ahead and start off the FI core. Once it is installed, we can go ahead and check for the flags that it takes. So it takes a couple of options. They have their own overrides, but we'll go ahead and start off the default mode. So the default mode is Yafai core followed by the directory of the configurations. So we have to pass a folder with workspace configuration. In this case, the workspace folder within the Yafai YT demo directory. Now, the moment you start it for the first time, it initializes Yafai on your local machine. And Yafai currently is built end to end on Grok. It uses Grok's infrastructure to power the agentic workspaces. Now, you would need a Grok token to get started with. And the easiest way to get Grok token is go on to Grok, sign up for a developer account, and then create a new API key. Now that we have the FI core installed, let's go ahead and start off the FI core engine with the workspace configuration. We pass in the directories with the workspace defined, and it starts off a new workspace interface for us. Now, we have to also start the FI skill server, which is the tool server for our agents. And let's see what it takes in as input. So it takes a manifest file and takes a skill key. So today we'll be integrating a local mock CRM that we built, and I don't have authentication on top of it, so we'll pass an empty authentication key. And the way we are going to do that is we'll pass the manifest file, and then we'll pass the empty key. Now what this does is it starts off the Yafai skill server with the manifest file, which maps the local CRUD APIs over a Unix socket that the Yafai core can connect to and exchange information about, hey, I need this tool, so can you get me this tool? Or hey, I need to execute this tool, or I need to execute this action in the Yafai terminology and get back the response. So we can go ahead and start off with a simple chat. We can just ask You can say hello, and then it comes back and says that, hey, I can help you with the sales pipeline, tracking deal progress, and maintaining contact profiles. So let's see if it can help me create a new contact, right? And so we can just go like, um, just met Ram from Artech. Email is ram@artex.com. Create a new contact, right? So what this should do is this should leverage the Yafai skills server and find a skill that can help the agent create a new contact and then respond with a confirmation that it was able to create a contact, right? So what we also see here in Yafai core is something called a system trace, which gives you visibility into what these agents are doing. So the initial query was answered by orchestrator. Then it got handed over to the contacts agent, which is one of the agents that we defined in the team of agents in the workspace. And then the agent again responds back to orchestrator. So orchestrator kind of formulates a response that we can go ahead and read, right? So now that we have a contact, let's see if we can create a new deal, right? So we can just say new deal from new deal with Ram from tech, uh, title marketing campaign. Uh, Value is 20,000 USD, expected to close by um, end of August 2025, right? So let's see if it is able to create a new deal, right? So it was able to create a new deal called marketing campaign, and then it basically performed the CRUD operation behind creating a new deal. Again, we can see that the orchestrator was able to pick the deals agent to complete this action, and then the deals agent performed its uh, action and then fed back the response to orchestrator. So just to be sure that we are actually running the API, we can see that we are hitting the local service that we just started off. We first started off by creating a post request on the contacts API and then creating a post on the deals API. What we can also do is check the Yafai skill. So we can see that it invoked the create deal action in the first request. And sorry, it invoked the create contact action in the first request, and it invoked the create deal action in the second request. So this is what Yafai is all about. You can follow along the progress and the updates on the GitHub page. You can also go through our blog section, which sometimes has some resources that can help you get started with Yafai. You can also check the community section. So now that you're aware of what Yafai core can do and what Yafai skills can do, and if there is any specific integration that you would like to see on Yafai skills or Yafai core, it could be a new provider, it could be a new type of orchestration algorithm. You can go ahead and request it on the discussions page. And since the project is open source, it is open for developers to contribute to. So uh, that's about it. Yeah, that's what Yafai is all about, and that's what I've been working on um, in the last 3 to 4 weekends. So excited to share this with you. Excited to put it out there and see what you will build, what multi-agent systems you will build, what skills you would build, and what client applications you would integrate them into. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.